Hello, welcome to Miss Peepers Reading Corner. I'm Katrina, aka Miss Peepers. Let's talk about books. Today we're doing a tag video. Now, if you follow a number of booktubers, you may have noticed a lot of people are doing the mid-year freakout tag, and that's a great tag, and I was actually going to do it. And then Leandra, over at Leandra the TBR0, came up with a mid-year calm down tag. And that just spoke to me a little bit more than the freak out. I'm actually not freaking out, at least from a bookish perspective. So I'm gonna do the calm down tag. I will link to her original video. The prompts on the tag are influenced by things that calm us down. Without further ado, we're halfway through the year. No, I'm not freaking out. We're halfway through the year and we'll get into the prompts. The first prompt is thankfulness. What has 2024 given me so far? Well, a big thing that 2024 has given me is BookTube. Not so much watching BookTube, which I've been doing for a few years now, but starting my own channel, which is something that I've been thinking about for a few years now. And finally, in January, I made a video and posted it, and here we are now. And as of the time I'm filming this, which is early July, I have over 90 subscribers, which is about 86 more than I was expecting. Just the fact that I'm coming up on 100 6 months in, that was completely unexpected to me. So of course I'm thankful for you. You're sitting here watching this right now. I'm thankful for anyone who has watched any of my videos and those who have subscribed, who have commented. I've loved chatting with all of you in the comments. It's just been a really positive space. And I'm also thankful for fellow booktubers, people who have welcomed me into the booktube community in a way that I was not expecting. You just never know with the internet what people are going to be like. You know, you're seeing this video of me. You don't know what I'm like in real life. Am I like this? Am I not? And that's true of anybody that you see on the internet. So the fact that other creators who have larger channels than I do have taken the time to say hello, to watch my videos, in some cases even promote my videos, has just been really, really humbling, and I love it. It's great. I'd especially like to thank Leandra, the TBR0, who created this tag, but also Kelly over at Books I'm Not Reading and Nicole at Noteworthy Fiction. Those are three in particular that I've interacted with on a regular basis and have just been so incredibly kind. And like, this kind of community that I'm starting to get involved in is exactly what I was hoping to find in BookTube. People who just love reading and may or may not read the same things, but want to talk about books, want to converse and just have a good time with the fact that we all love to read. And that's just so wonderful. And so I'm really glad I did this. BookTube has just been such a great experience for me so far. The second prompt is relaxation. And the question is, what is the most relaxing book that you've read so far this year? And I'm going to go with Cat Plus Gamer, which is actually a couple of books, a manga series. I have a video dedicated to this series that's coming soon. I promise this wasn't staged. I was talking about Cat Plus Gamer and Mrs. Pickles came in here requiring a hug immediately. That's right. So I have a separate video dedicated to this manga series coming soon, but I loved it. The short version is I loved it. It's super cute. It encapsulates everything. It just encapsulates the experience of being a cat parent and also a gamer, and I adored it. And it was just so chill and sweet and cute, and so definitely my most relaxing read of the year. The third prompt is hydration. We all need to hydrate. If you have not hydrated recently, do that. Let's drink some water for that. The hydration prompt is a book that you've read so far that you needed. And I haven't recorded a video for this yet, but I will. Spy Family is the book that I needed, that I did not know I needed. Now, a little bit about me, and there's a lot of manga happening recently, but I've never liked anime. And ultimately, the anime that I've seen largely has been anime my husband has introduced me to. There's a lot of fighting, there's a lot of yelling, there's a lot of inappropriately dressed women with all sorts of giant everything for no good reason. Like, yeah, so it's just overly sexualized and doesn't seem to have a whole lot of plot, and I just can't connect to the characters and I just don't care. But then Mr. Peepers talked me into watching Spy Family. A last-ditch effort, a Hail Mary that he put out there. He said, just watch one episode. And I was hooked. Spy Family is set in a fictional universe that is modeled after the Cold War. So we have this spy, his code name is Twilight, and he has been assigned the task of getting close to a political operative for the sake of brokering peace between the two countries. And in order to do this, he's been told he needs to have a family, a wife and a child, and get that child into the school that this man's son attends so that they can become friends and he can get close to the other family. And so he finds a woman who is, first he finds a child. That's easy. He adopts a child. Done. And then the second part, which is a little bit tougher, is finding a wife, but he manages to find a woman who is also motivated to enter a fake marriage, a fake real marriage, and they form this family, and they've all got secrets. Twilight is a spy, as I've said. His wife Yor is actually an assassin, and their daughter Anya is a telepath. And all three of them are keeping these secrets from the others. And so we have this group of people who are brought together by ridiculousness, and it is so cute. It is so fun. It is heartwarming. It is delightful. I will do a full video on this where I gush about the whole thing in extreme detail. So look out for that. But once I watched the anime, I just had to read the manga as well, and it's very close. The anime is very true to the manga, which is wonderful. I love it because I can hear their voices, I can see them moving when I'm reading the manga as well. And so highly recommend this, but I really needed it. I really needed something that would defy my expectations of a genre, if that makes sense. I would not have picked this up. Like, I've heard people talk about Spy Family quite a bit. And I just could not imagine liking it. And it turns out it was everything that I needed. So I would say it hydrated me for sure. It was a book that I needed to read. The fourth prompt is nourishment. And the question is, what is a book that has energized you? This might be a strange one, but I'll explain it. The book that energized me is Kindred by Octavia Butler, and I've made a dedicated video on this, which I will link to. I say this energized me because I was in something of a reading slump. I was trying to read Middlemarch. That was not going well, and I needed something else to read. And I picked this up. It's been on my shelf for a while. I read some Octavia Butler last year, really enjoyed it. And so I thought, okay, I want to pick this up as well. And I read the whole thing in one day. I actually stayed up late reading this, and it was so gripping. It pulled me along. And the reason I say it energized me is that, one, the writing was so good that I just loved it. And I needed a reading win, if that makes sense. I love reading. That's why I have a booktube channel. But just like everyone else, sometimes I just don't have the energy for it, or the interest, or just the brain power sometimes. And so picking up a book like this, it got me out of that slump. I was so grateful for it. And I have more Octavia Butler on my TBR shelf. Maybe I'll wait till my next reading slump and try again. This might be the author to get me out of that. But regardless, got a ton of energy out of this book, and I really, really loved it. Prompt number 5 is familiarity. And this is an author that I've returned to this year. I mentioned Octavia Butler, that I read her last year, so I read her again this year. You saw how that turned out. It was amazing. We'll definitely continue to read Octavia Butler. The other author that I returned to this year was Ray Bradbury. I read Something Wicked This Way Comes. I've long been a fan of Fahrenheit 451. It is, in fact, one of my favorite books. And yet I had never read any other Ray Bradbury. And for some reason, when I go to a used bookstore, I have the worst time trying to find books by Ray Bradbury. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's because people, when they get his books, they just want to hold on to them, or if once they hit the shelves, they're snapped up immediately. I don't know, but I have a hard time finding him in the used bookstore. So I made a point of actually purchasing Something Wicked This Way Comes as another book to try out. And I'm so glad that I did, because his writing is just so elegant. It's simple, it's straightforward, but it's also just beautiful. And Something Wicked This Way Comes is very poetic in its cadence. It just sounds so nice. So yeah, so I'm really glad that I went back to Bradbury, and I will continue to do so. I just may have to buy new, which is something that I do. I prefer to buy used books just because I can get more that way. And I also can support local businesses, but I do buy a mix of new and used books. And so, excuse me, Miss Ma'am. Sorry, T'Challa just hit the tripod there. Number 6 is a healthy risk. And the prompt here is that it's a read that's outside of my comfort zone or a new to me author. And most of the authors that I've read this year are new to me, just because that's kind of how I roll. A lot of times I've collected so many different types of books that most of the authors that I read, I'm reading for the first time. But I'm actually going to answer this a little bit differently from what I think the prompt intends. During the Amazing Readathon, which happened throughout June, I realized that in order to keep up with the prompts and to read as many books as I did, not only did I read a bunch of manga, as you saw, but also I started listening to audiobooks. Now, I'm not going to call myself an audiobook reader. I've long had difficulty listening to one voice for so many hours. My big quibble with audiobooks, and let me know if I'm the only one, but my big quibble with audiobooks is that a lot of the narrators tend to either not have any emotion when they're reading, so they read it very flatly, or they read the prose flatly, and then only act or voice act the dialogue. And that drives me up the wall. I hate it. Because when I'm reading, in my head, I am reading with emotion, or I'm feeling the emotion of the words, but when somebody reads it really flatly, I can't. I can't do it. And there were a number of audiobooks that I tried to listen to where I just kept hitting that over the years. And so other than like listening to Lord of the Rings as read by Andy Serkis, or Sherlock Holmes as read by Stephen Fry, who of course are both talented voice actors, I would listen to anything read by Andy Serkis. Like, he's just so amazingly good. But I had a hard time finding other ones. But with the Amazing Readathon, and Mr. Peepers participated in the Amazing Readathon as well, so we listened to some of the same books. He almost exclusively listens to audiobooks. That flatness does not bother him, but it gave me an opportunity to try some different audiobooks, and they weren't all gems. I will say that. Some of them I just couldn't listen to, even though I want to read the books at some point. And I'm not going to call anyone out because I'm not trying to like trash any particular narrators, but there were a few that I really, really enjoyed, and it makes me sad that Audible doesn't let you search by narrator. That's so weird. But anyway, that's another thing. But yeah, I got out of my comfort zone and started listening to some audiobooks as well as physically reading. And it was a really nice balance, especially when I was trying to read so many books in such a short amount of time. Yeah, so that was a good step out of my comfort zone. I'm not going to do it regularly, but I'm more likely to try an audiobook and not just go in thinking, ugh, I'm not gonna like it. Prompt number 7 is reflection. And this is to think about changes in my reading taste so far this year. I thought about this for a while. I don't know that my taste has changed per se, but I have noticed that this year I've read a lot more horror than I have in the past, or in a while at least. I used to read a lot of horror years and years ago, but sort of dropped off of that and started reading other things. So I wouldn't call that necessarily a change in taste, but maybe a resurgence in that genre, that I just haven't read for a while. And that's actually been really nice because I've found some new authors like Nat Cassidy, for example. I read Nestlings recently and that was so creepy. And I really, really enjoyed it. So I've been branching out into more horror novels than I have in the past, which has been fun. Prompt number 8 is detox. What's a book or a habit that I'm leaving behind? And for me, one of the habits that I want to leave behind is procrastinating channel content and procrastinating editing. I think a lot of content creators, not just BookTube, but just across YouTube, folks that I've watched, people love making videos, they love having made videos, they love posting them and interacting in the comments with their viewers and doing those different things, but almost everyone despises editing, and I am one of them. But I'm getting used to it. It's not a question of not knowing how to do it. It's just a slog. And I just cannot justify hiring someone else to do it. I just can't. So right now it's just me. And my goal is to stay ahead of the game and pre-schedule videos so that I can get a video out every single week. So hopefully you've noticed, if you're paying attention, that I've gotten more regular over the past few weeks with my posting, with the videos that I'm posting. But I want to continue on with that. So that has meant shifting the way that I'm thinking about what I'm posting, and that's getting into a little bit of a later question. Getting ahead of the game, filming, batch filming, and then editing and getting it out there so that it's ready to go is something that I'm definitely working to shift, so that on those weeks when I am busy or my mental health is not great or I'm just tired, I can take a break without feeling like I'm just losing track of everything. And so, because unfortunately I have a day job, got to get that book money, and like pay bills and stuff, all of that is to say, planning ahead, I think will be really helpful. And it'll give me an opportunity to work at my own pace. And so that's the goal. And that's actually a pretty good segue into prompt number 9, which is positivity, an anticipated book or event. And so for me, I am actually really excited about October for a couple of reasons. It's my birthday month, but it's also the first week of October is Banned Books Week. And if you've been here for any amount of time, you know that I hate censorship. And so I have a pretty big plan for October. We'll see if I can pull it off. I will have content around Banned Books Week. I've already started planning it out. I'm excited, but even if I only get like half of it, I'll still feel really great. So stay tuned. And then prompt number 10 is looking ahead at personal plans and goals. And so from a bookish perspective, I'll stick with my channel and goals here. I'm still in year 1 of my channel, and so I'm still working out what kinds of videos I actually enjoy doing. I really like tag videos, but I also feel like I can't just do a tag video every single week. There probably are enough tags to do that, but I think that would get boring, but also repetitive potentially. And I really enjoy doing book review type videos. So one video dedicated to a book or to a series. Which is something that I've been doing a fair amount recently. And so my plan that I'm shifting towards for the channel is every week to have a book review video and then other videos kind of peppered in. So tag videos like this one, vlogs at certain points when I do something interesting enough to vlog, which is my day-to-day is not particularly interesting most of the time, but I do want to do some more vlogging. And then I also want to continue to do special topic videos like the DNF video that I did, or just things that are on my mind. And so I'm working out how to fix that, but I think I read enough that the book reviews can be the backbone of the channel, and then everything else is kind of bonus. And so I'm working towards that structure, and we'll see how that goes. And we'll see how long I enjoy that, because I definitely want to make sure that whatever I'm doing on this channel, that I am having fun because again, not my day job. So if I'm going to spend the time on it, if I'm going to spend my free time on it, I've got to enjoy it. And I think my content will be better if I'm enjoying making it as well. And those are all the prompts. I do have a bonus that is particular to me because it is, well, we were a few days into July now. But if you've been following along, you know that I have a stack of mysterious books. I have not opened the July mysterious book yet. I'm a little behind on the reading. I did DNF, I think it was the May book, A Map of the World by Jane Hamilton. I'm not going to make a video on that because I did not read enough to give a proper, like, balanced review. I personally just didn't get into it. It wasn't really my cup of tea. The writing just did not grab me. That doesn't mean someone else won't love it. From what I can tell, like looking at Goodreads, a lot of people like it. So if it's of interest to you, please don't let me dissuade you. I wasn't getting into it, so I did DNF it. I still have the Known World. I've started it, but I haven't gotten very far. I am enjoying that one so far. Let's open the July mysterious book and see what we've got. This is an author I enjoy, but a book I have not read. So this is The White Lioness by Henning Mankell. Henning Mankell is a Swedish author of detective fiction. So this is a mystery. This is a Kurt Wallander mystery. So Kurt Wallander is a detective about whom he has written a number of books. So I've read Faceless Killers, which is the first book in this series, but I haven't read any more of it. So I'm excited to have this one. Yeah, I'll let you know how it is. This is a cool cover too. It's like an X-ray view of a gun. You can see the bullets in there and like all the inner workings. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm excited. Okay, so this is when Inspector Kurt Wallander is called in to investigate the execution-style murder of a Swedish housewife. It initially seems like a routine case. He uncovers a suspicious stalker who may have committed the murder out of brutal passion. But when the suspect's alibi turns out to be airtight, Wallander must look deeper into the case, and what he discovers is far more complex and dangerous than he ever imagined. He soon uncovers an assassination plot and finds himself in a tangle with the secret police and a ruthless ex-KGB agent, combining compelling insights into the sinister side of modern life with a riveting tale of international intrigue. The White Lioness keeps you on the knife edge of suspense. Nice. I'm looking forward to this. This one's going to be fun. I remember really enjoying Faceless Killers. I read it a long time ago. So I will report back. Thank you again to Leandra for creating this Meteor Calm Down tag. I really enjoyed doing it. And I encourage you, if you are watching, if you have a channel, do this tag too. Make a video. If you don't have a channel, let me know in the comments what your answers to any or all of these questions are. I'm really curious. Anyway, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.